of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Supervisor Warehan?
Here.
Councilman McCarthy?
Here.
Councilwoman Noack?
Here.
Councilwoman Izzarella?
Yes, here.
Councilman Lohman?
I'm here.
Here. Okay, we'll begin this afternoon with site plan. Mr. Trotter?
Good afternoon, Supervisor, members of the Town Board. I'm Liam Trotta with the Planning Department. We have 3 proposals to present this afternoon to the Board, acting as the Board of Site Plan Review. The first proposal is actually a site plan waiver, and the applicant is the Lofts at Maple and Maine. And the applicant is proposing a waiver of condition number 8 of the original approval that was approved in 2018. Condition number 8 reads, building number 1, which is the retail building with accessory apartments fronting Main Street, shall be constructed prior to the issuance of any certificate of occupancies for buildings 2 through 4. So the original site plan approval was for the construction of 4 3-story buildings consisting of retail space in building number 1 with 62 accessory apartments in the remainder of building 1, 2, 3, and number 4. The condition was required because the apartment units in buildings number 2 through 4 were approved as an accessory use to the principal retail commercial use in building number 1. At this time, buildings 2 through 4 and the site work surrounding those buildings is complete. Building number 1 is substantially constructed and is anticipated to be completed in late fall. So as you can see right here, this is building number 1 fronting Main Street, directly across from Town Hall, and buildings 2 through 4 are finished with the site work, parking, landscaping surrounded complete as well. So the applicant is requesting a waiver of this condition to facilitate the issuance of temporary certificate of occupancies for buildings 2 through 4 while the construction of building 1 continues. And the Planning Department offers the following comments for the board's consideration. Section 32285D of the Town Code states that a condition of site plan approval can be waived provided that the waiver A, does not result in a violation, B, does not hinder the intent of good site design, C, relieves a practical difficulty upon the applicant, and D, is determined by the board that the waiver would promote the public good. With respect to requirement A, the approval would not result in a violation. The site is partially under construction with no outstanding complaints or violation, and the site has Board of Site Plan Review approval, and all building permits have been renewed and are valid. With respects to requirement B, approval of the waiver would not hinder the intent of good site design. The buildings and site will be constructed in accordance with the approved site plan. With respect to requirement C, the approval of the waiver would relieve a practical difficulty. The practical difficulty being that buildings 2 through 4 are completed but cannot be occupied until building number 1 is complete. Building number 1 is substantially constructed but not yet finished, and the waiver would allow temporary COs to be issued so that buildings 2 through 4 can be occupied while building number 1 finishes. Now, building number 1 and the remaining site work is anticipated to be complete around late fall, which is within the allowable 6-month TCO period pursuant to the Town Code. And with respect to requirement D, approval or modification of the waiver would promote the public good. Granting this waiver would allow the immediate occupancy of 36 needed housing and apartment units within the central business district of downtown Smithtown. So based on the reasoning, as I just stated, it is recommended that condition number 8 be modified accordingly to read as follows. Temporary certificate of occupancies may be issued for buildings 2 through 4 upon acceptance of a cash deposit to be placed in an escrow account to ensure the satisfactory completion by the applicant of all required improvements. Building number 1 shall be completed, and the applicant shall obtain a final CO of all permits within 6 months of this approval. Does the board have any questions on this proposal?
No, thank you.
I have one, site plan on 2 through 4, all of the site work is completed?
All the site work is complete.
Okay, thank you.
There's very minimal landscaping fronting Maple Avenue that still needed to be completed. This drone photo was taken yesterday, but
Okay.
it's 99% of the site work is complete.
Okay. Any questions by the board?
No, complete, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Liam.
You're welcome.
I'll let the public ask a question.
We're gonna vote on these at the end.
I just wonder how they count, were there affordable units that are supposed to be in this complex of 4 buildings?
The original condition of approval,
Mr.
yes.
Holtz, why don't you do this after the meeting, if you need clarification on these and things like that? Thank you.
So the next site plan application is called 86 to 92 West Main Street, and the subject site is the site actually directly east of the Lofts project. It's on the corner of Maple Avenue and Main Street in Smithtown. And this proposal is for the construction of a 4,438 square foot second and third story addition to an existing one-story commercial building with 6 accessory apartments located at 90 to 92 West Main Street to serve as workforce housing units in connection with the approved site plan for the adjacent property to the west, known as the Lofts at Maple and Main. The proposal also includes facade alterations to an existing 2-story corner building located at 86 to 88 West Main Street that consists of first-floor retail use and 3 accessory apartments on the second floor. This is the proposed site plan again. So the musicology building will be proposing a second and third story building addition with 3 apartments, 3 accessory apartments on each floor. And the corner building at Maple Avenue will just be having facade renovations. This is a drone photo taken the other day, musicology in the corner building. It'll all connect with the Lofts at Maple and Main project. And the approvals have gone through the Board of Zoning Appeals. They've obtained variances. The applicant has agreed to 4 standard conditions of approval. And this is the proposed rendering of the project
Very pretty.
and elevations. Does the board have any questions on this proposal?
Just, the building on the corner, I think, was a barber shop or something?
Yes.
Is he going to continue a barber shop in that building, or what is that building gonna be on the corner?
I believe the barber is going to be there, but other tenants, I'm not sure what,
Oh,
if there's
okay.
going to be a change in commercial
That's
tenancy.
nice.
Any other questions by the board?
No.
Thank you.
Dan, Mr. Supervisor, if I could just ask one question before we vote on this. Because I'm unclear as to whether or not by, 2, 3, and 4 being filled, are there going to be any workforce or affordable units in building 2, 3, and 4? Or are they going to wait until after 1 is completed?
Still be 1, right? Yes. The workforce housing is slated to go in building number 1 as soon as that's completed. Okay?
There's 6 units.
There's 6 affordable units allocated to the site.
But no-
And that's why it's only temporary COs issued, not final COs.
Correct.
Any other questions?
Okay.
Yes, Raj?
Thank you.
Okay. The last site plan, it's called Broadley Avenue Development. The subject site is located at the southwest corner of Middle Country Road and Broadley Avenue in Smithtown. The subject lot is actually shared with the McDonald's parcel, and the portion being developed is the southern portion. It's a wooded vacant area right now. There's a shared lease line with the property, so although it's one parcel, it's kind of 2 separate sites. And the proposal is for the construction of a 2-story, 45,296 industrial building consisting of 6,000 square feet of office, 6,000 square feet of wholesale, and 33,296 square feet of warehouse. This is the proposed site plan. Again, this is the existing McDonald's building. This will be the proposed development area of the building. There's a few truck loading docks on the north side of the building, associated parking. There'll be land bank parking on the southern portion. The applicant has agreed to 5 conditions of approval. 2 being standard, obtaining building permits, installing a tree preservation fence. There's a 3rd condition that a revised grading and drainage plan addressing the grade changes along the south property line be submitted to the engineering and planning departments. There is a 4th condition stating that prior to the issuance of a CO, a site plan addendum shall be submitted, including all necessary paperwork for the Broadley Avenue right-of-way dedications and roadway construction plans. So associated with this approval, they will be dedicating Broadley Avenue. Right now, it's a private road. They'll be dedicating the entire right-of-way to the town upon final CO. And the last condition of approval is that the stormwater pollution prevention plan be maintained on site for the duration of construction. the proposed elevations of the building and a expected rendering.
Questions by the board?
No.
Thank you, Mr. Trotter.
Thank you.
These site plans will be voted on after the agenda. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll reconvene as Board of Water Commissioners.
We have
Deputy Clerk?
the minutes approval from May 2nd and resolution and application for Water Infrastructure Improvement Act, which is the 2021 grant. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Warehan?
Yes. Reconvene as Town Board, and we'll move to the agenda.
The first is an appointment by the supervisor, appointing Maureen Smilo to the volunteer position of Deputy Town Historian. Under correspondence, we have the Building Department report for May and June of 2023. Advertise for public hearing, authorize the town clerk to advertise for 2 public hearings to be held at Town Hall on August 8th, 2023 at 2 o'clock. The first is to consider Local Law 13-2023, which is amendments to Chapter 36. And the second is to consider a zone change petition 2023-03 submitted by J. Nazaro Partnership for a change of zone from office business to neighborhood business for property located on the east side of 111. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Warehan?
Yes.
On the consent agenda, Controller, it's 1 to 27, and consent resolutions 1 and 2, along with the minutes of June 6th.
Anyone on the Town Board wish to remove any resolutions from the consent agenda?
No.
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 No, thank you.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Warehan?
Yes.
The Town Board to issue a secret negative declaration determination in the matter of an application for site plan approval by Heights of Main Street for 8692 West Main Street, and then site plan approval by Broadley Avenue Development Company for Broadley Avenue Industrial Center. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Warehan?
Yes.
Award the following requests for proposal. 2355 for canoe livery service at Paul T. Given Park to Nissaquag River and Canoe Rentals. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Warehan?
Yes.
Award the following bids and authorize the purchase of the associated goods or services. Bid 2353 for a tractor truck to Trucks Incorporated, 2354 for a flatbed bed truck with plow to Trucks Incorporated, 2351 for athletic field marking paint to PPG Architectural Finishes, and 2359 for asphalt resurfacing to Rosemar Contracting. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarello?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Warehan?
Yes.
The Town Board to approve the following. The first 4 are extensions of bid. The first one is extension of bid 2269 for cast iron drainage items with American Cast Iron Products, 2316 for animal shelter supplies with the Barn Pet and Feed Supplies, 2286 for printing of the annual recyclable calendar with R&J Graphics, 2263 processing and recycling of yard waste with Trinity Transportation Corp. Change orders 1 and 2 to bid 22106, the replacement floating docks with Miko Sullivan. Ratification of the town attorney's signature of a renewal agreement with Thomas Rutgers for online legal research. Change the name of the street identified in the local highway inventory as Shara Court in Wisconsin to Dara Court. The next 3 are adoption of local laws regarding the town code. The first one is amending Chapter 20, Town Traffic Code Number 7. It's for off-road vehicles, and it's Local Law 10/2023. Adoption of Local Law 11/2023, landscapers, it's going to Chapter 195. And adoption of 12/2023, amendments to Chapter 43, changing the title from Anti-Bias Task Force to the Town of Smithtown Unity Council. a settlement with Stephen Schwab and Geico Indemnity Company in the amount of $208.57 for damage to town property. An amendment to the 2023 agreement to spend town highway funds to reflect an additional equipment purchasing using New York State CHIPS funds. The adoption of the Town of Smithtown Disability Advisory Board policy. The removal of Disability Advisory Board members Joseph Delgado, Doreen Perino, and Michael Musso, effective January 11th. And an appointment to members to the Disability Advisory Board, effective July 11th, 2023. The members are described on the agenda. An amendment of intermunicipal agreement with Village of Lloyd Harbor dated May 9th, modifying fees for the delivery, processing, and disposal of recyclable materials to the Smithtown Municipal Service Facility and to extend the agreement for a 6-month term. And the last is to appoint Robert Draffin, a hearing officer in the Civil Service Law Section 75, charges against employee 3441. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Authorize the exceptions of a check donation from Karen Kaufman for $75 to the animal shelter. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Authorize the supervisor to execute the following resolutions on a form approved by the town attorney. Donation agreements for the town to accept donations of multiple memorial benches to be placed at various town parks. An agreement with New York State regarding municipal waste reduction and recycling project grants from the Municipal Service Facility. Agreement with Sound Beach Fire District to utilize the Edward Mancuso Fire Training Center for a term of 1 year. A donation agreement with Anthony Lanieri for the town to accept a flagpole, flag, and solar light donation to be placed at Lanieri Park in the town of Smithtown. Agreement with Icon Industries doing business as Civic Plus for hosting and maintenance services for the town of Smithtown website for a period of 1 year in an amount not to exceed $12,700. Renewal of the electronic medical maintenance and support in the amount of $10,900. And a 3-year agreement with LEAP to provide hosted software for the town attorney's office. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
The town board to approve settlement per recommendations of the town attorney with Heidi Lobianco for $150 and Joseph Rusi for $750. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
The town board to issue a written consistency determination that Coastal Consistency Review 2023-03 from 3 Seashell Lane is consistent with the local water revitalization plan. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Personnel, items 1 to 15, as described on the agenda. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes, but abstain on number 6.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. We have one read-on resolution?
The read-on is for a termination of employee 8196 in the Senior Citizen Department, effective close of business July 11th. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. Reconvene as Board of Site Plan, vote on the site plans for this afternoon.
On the site plan, it's the minutes approval of June 6th, and 3 site plan approvals. The first is to approve the site plan for 8692 West Main Street. The second is for lofts at Maple and Main to waive condition number 8 of their approval dated August 14th, 2018. And the last is to approve the site plan for Broadley Avenue Industrial Center, all described at the beginning of the meeting by Liam Trotter of our Planning Department. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. That concludes the agenda. We will move, we have speakers, I assume?
I only have two cards, there's some more. The first
Okay.
one,
While we're waiting, public participation is subject to the rules of decorum, which you have on your speaker card. That is Town Code Section 76.7. Public portion is for town-related matters only. Any unsubstantiated, unverified, or material false information will be interrupted. The 3-minute rule will be strictly enforced. Please state your name and address the town board. Thank you.
Jane Lombardo.
Jane Lombardo, 41 Sandy Hill Road, Comac, New York. There's good, bad, and ugly happening at Sweetbriar. Okay, the good. We had a famous guest photographer from LA take photos of our resident bald eagle, Franklin. Those photos were used in the Wall Street Journal article about how the eagle became our national bird. It's a beautiful photograph. And he took photos of some of our other residents. You'll find those on our Instagram page. They're really amazing. As a result, the London Daily Mail got in touch with us, and they want to also work with us at Sweetbriar. 2, we're excited to present an evening of Tales from the Field with Jeff Corwin, biologist, conservationist, environmental journalist. He currently hosts Wildlife Nation on ABC. The fun-inspiring talk is Sunday, August 27th at 7 o'clock, right at the Smithtown Performing Arts Council building. 3, our summer discovery weeks are completely filled, including a rehab week. Our counselors are mainly kids who participated in our programs and grew up at Sweetbriar. They're now volunteering and giving back. Some of them have become our interns. Our intern program, which is a huge accomplishment, provides many college kids the opportunity to learn about their chosen field of veterinary studies, environmental education, botany, and Lepidoptera. 4, 35% of all of our checks and online donations from Instagram come from the town of Smithtown residents. So we are serving our residents well. And now the bad. Although one water line was fixed, there are other leaks waiting to be repaired. We're not talking about sprinklers, but the water lines themselves. And yes, the sidewalk is done, but we are waiting for the back porch to be repaired and painted. And the ugly, the greenery in the front of the house was ripped out early this spring. It is now plain dirt, and it is ugly. So we're wondering if those 3 items has taken up the entire budget transfer of $100,000. We're afraid that there won't be enough time to use the balance of funds for much-needed upkeep. So that's the news from our field. We hope to see you at Sweetbriar, and follow us on Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would recommend you speak to Councilman Lohman as well on the bad issues.
Yeah.
And we'll do our best to accommodate
I'll
you.
talk to you on the good issues.
I got a quick answer, we're broke.
Thank you for your good work down at Sweetbriar.
William Holt.
Good afternoon, Mr. Supervisor and members of the Town Council. I have copies. Those written comments were the comments that I submitted to the Department of Environment and Waterways back on June 23rd. I brought with me the draft environmental impact statement, just to, remind you how thick it was. I measured it over 2 inches thick. And then we also have the appendices. They're a little over, an inch and a half, I think. So it's a pretty voluminous set of documents, but I know there were a number of comments, submitted by people. And I just wanted to point out that, as you go through this, it talks about how the first and foremost goal of the comprehensive plan is to protect the town's natural resources. And if you want a page number, I can give that to you. But the one thing that's particularly mentioned is to have safe and adequate drinking water. The DGIS seems like, quite a weight of documents to get to that point. And one of the things it says very early on is that 96% of the town of Smithtown, over 96% of the town of Smithtown, is either developed or in preserved land. So what are we talking about? It's not 1957 anymore. I mean, it's not going to be a tremendous amount of new building. And so what is the priority? Well, the priorities really were identified here in terms of saying that, you know, the people who were surveyed know that, you know, we live on our drinking water here in Smithtown. And when, you know, when officials of the town of Smithtown address zoning matters in the future, such as changing light industry to heavy industry or single-family residential property to multi-family use, the comprehensive plan for the next 20 years should have a more scientific basis. And the last master plan in 1957 was prepared before we had studies such as the 208 study and research on our drinking water. Documents that I received in response to a recent Freedom of Information Act served upon the Suffolk County Department of Health reveal that the siting of a proposed sewage treatment plant at a 24-acre site in Esconset, now called the Preserve at Smithtown, could possibly negatively impact the water quality of the shallow glacial well. So, you know, when people talk about, you know, this, you know, the draft, it unfortunately does not really get into things like the sanitary systems and
Thank
the
you.
water.
Your time is up, thank you.
So I hope you'll take a moment, read the comment, and, you know, be guided accordingly. Thank you.
We'll certainly do that.
Maria Lamalfa?
Two members of the now Unity Council have asked me to speak on their behalf, so I'm doing that. From Chaplain Sana Nadim, who's the Interfaith Chair, the Chair of the Interfaith Center at Stony Brook University, Chaplain Spiritual Care Department at Stony Brook University Hospital, and also with several police organizations. She's chaplain. She says, the word bias allows us to sharpen our objectives and focus on the disparate experiences that members of our communities face. As we learned, especially over the past few years, our communities feel safer and more heard when they know that we're striving to root out structural, systemic, and experiential inequality. The word bias expresses our firm commitment to serving our richly diverse constituents through our inequality framework. The next statement is from Ben Piscourse, and in case anyone doesn't know Ben, he's a founding member of the Anti-Bias Task Force and a former president of venerable Smithtown organizations such as the Chamber of Commerce, Smithtown Rotary. Ben's family, I learned, lived in Warsaw. His father came from a family of 16 children. They owned a business, a factory, combined with an apartment building where they all lived. Ben's father and several siblings left Warsaw in 1929 and landed in Argentina. The family which remained were all killed in one of the first bombings of Warsaw. Ben was born and grew up in Argentina. He married, had a son. He immigrated to the United States and soon after brought his wife and son. They settled in Comac to raise their family and built a thriving business in Smithtown. In view of his personal and family history, Ben's is an important voice and he is a valued member of the Anti-Bias Unity Council. He is passionate about the work of anti-bias. So it pains me to read this next statement from Ben. Supervisor Werheim, members of the Town Council, I am a founding member of the Smithtown Anti-Bias Task Force appointed by Supervisor of the Town of Smithtown, Patrick Vecchio, in 1994, along with other members of the Rotary Club of Smithtown and additional citizens, about 25 members in total. The task force was formed because of an anti-Semitic act at the Comac North High School the night before graduation day. If you approve the resolution to eliminate the words anti-bias from the name, please accept this as my resignation. Unity Anti-Bias Council or some other variation will be acceptable. Thank you, Ben Piscourse. And I would personally like to see the town honor the 30th anniversary of the Anti-Bias Task Force, regardless of the name, next year by hosting a community event, by bringing in prior members and speakers from diverse organizations to discuss why anti-bias efforts are important. I also hope that our candidates for appointment be acted upon soon. We could really use the help. And as always, thank you for your support.
Thank you very much.
Right under the buzzer.
Supervisor, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay. I will move to close.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilman Lawman?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everybody, for attending. Be safe.